Nikaya three refuges. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana Refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers. For the lineage of teachers before them, I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened, may their vows be completely realized, and may I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred. Being close to some and distant from others, how wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How
accomplished.
I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering.
Bless me to accomplish this.
May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Please stand for the Heart Sutra, found on page 4. Everybody be welcome. Great Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. Practicing deep Prajna Paramita, clearly saw that all 5 skandhas are empty, transforming all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness, no other than form. Form is exactly emptiness, emptiness, exactly form. Sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness are also like this. Shariputra, all things are essentially empty, not for, not destroyed, not seen, not pure, without loss, without gain. Therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought, no seeing, and so on, to no thinking, no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, and so on, to no old age and death, and also no ending of old age and death, no suffering, cause of suffering, cessation
Bodhisattva lives by Prajnaparamita, with no hindrance in the mind, no hindrance, and therefore no fear, far beyond elusive thinking. Right here is nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future live by Prajnaparamita, attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is a great sacred mantra, the great vivid mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the supreme mantra, which completely removes all suffering. This is truth, not mere formality. Therefore set forth the Prajnaparamita mantra, set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate Gate Para Gate Parsam Gate Bodhisattva Gate Gate Para Gate Parsam Gate Bodhisattva Gate Gate Para Gate Parsam Gate Bodhisattva.
Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. All that is and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the six worlds and dedicate it in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be clear from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to Mitchell, Susie, Ann, Tiffany, Griffin, Chrissy, Chelsea, Lucille, Irene, Evan, Soke, Flora, Matt, Mary, Dan, Haifa, Jack, Darcy, Mike, Karen, the Simone family, Sarah and Roger. May they have peace and healing. And to Jim, Marjorie, Chief, Patsy, and Margaret at the time of their deaths, as well as those names we hold in the silence of our hearts, and those names who we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. Om.
「
Om. prepare for the zazen. We will now recite the Sangha Covenant, found on page 8. We, the Daishin Buddhist Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with the wonder and the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated. All sit comfortably, all so that you can see the teachers. And in a moment, we'll recite the Gata Buddhist Sutra. On opening the sutra.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for choosing to be here to practice together. Today, we'll have what is the annual State of the Sangha experience. It's an important thing, actually, to note what has come before and to have some sense of where things may be going. I've asked Jukai, Novice Jukai, to assist in her role as administrator and running the membership campaign and so many other hats that she wears. And between the two of us, at the end of our brief time together today, it's only going to be 4 hours or so. We should have some touchstone into what just happened. 2024, there was an immense amount of activity and development and growth and evolution, deepening of the Sangha. We'll note a few things, and I will put forth the results of my practice, frankly. In the winter solstice, I sort of become a recluse. I spend a lot more time in solitude and reflecting and sort of howling at the moon and staring at the fire and this kind of stuff. And one of the results of it is having some intuitions and sense about what needs to happen next. And I'll share those insights with you. And then we'll take it from there. So, Jakai, some comments, please.
Good morning, everyone. The liturgy this morning felt so powerful to me, just the engagement of everyone in the room. And when I think about all the things over the last year, a little more than a year, it's very much like liturgy. There are people who have positions, who ring a bell, who carry a haku box, who officiate, who lead the chants. And sometimes these positions are surprises, and we bow and say yes. But it's this form that holds us, and holds us so beautifully. And when we miss a beat, or we tap the bell at the wrong time, or we leave we don't have the incense out, or whatever it is, we just move in and the space is held. We do this together. And it really reminds me of how this last year has been in an extraordinary way. Preparing for this talk today, I think the hardest thing for me is I'm not crying as I speak to you, because I am so moved by this community. And the Sangha, we have this just incredible, precious gift of our teachers and the lineage that came before them and the wisdom and the teachings that come to us. And it's the Sangha that makes it possible. And whether it's the Sangha that's listening at a distance or whether it's the Sangha that's sitting in this room, the things that I'm going to talk about wouldn't be possible without you all. And so I hope that as you're sitting on your cushion, as you're feeling it, maybe as this is your first time visiting temple, or you're just getting used to the cushion because you're in the establishing your Buddhist practice class and kind of working through those things, or whether you've been here since the beginning, you all are making this possible. And so I have pages, you know, I could bring lots of detail, I could bring lots of numbers, I could name so many of you. I could just go around the room naming people and take a long time. But there were 4 kinds of themes that emerged for me when I looked at the last year. And the first of those is generosity. The second is growth, structure, and wisdom. And I just want to talk about a couple of those things because they really capture what happened. In my perspective, there are lots of different ways to look at this. But in the same way that when we walk Kenhin, we're beginning to take our practice off the cushion. When we come in and work for doing Samu on a Samu Saturday, or to get ready for Sesshin, we're taking our practice off the cushion. And in the same way, this is how the leadership is at temple. There's this wisdom that arises from the Dharma and leads everything that we do. There isn't anything here that happens without intention. There are no accidents. And I think that it's really important, you know, going all the way up the lineage, it's really important to know that's how we approach everything. And so there were so many intensive conversations, intense, hours and hours and hours and hours. And many of you were involved in different aspects of those conversations about what does the temple need? What does the Sangha need? How does this fit with our mission? And what is the Dharma telling us? What's arising in the Dharma? And lucky for us, again, we have teachers that keep us on this path, using that wisdom in what happens. And so out of that wisdom, this was maybe a little bit before the beginning of last year, but we got the daily schedule at Temple. And there's a daily schedule that holds our practice. And when you walk into the temple, no matter when it is, you're held in practice and you feel it differently than you would have if the daily schedule wasn't there. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's posted out in the community room. I encourage you to take a look. We increase the days of session annually to 54. And that gives lots of opportunity for very deep practice and training. And then there were places in the mandala where there were new things arising, and there was growth individually and in our community that these things were arising. So like the Lam Rim class, who would have thought going into last year that we could begin a class with 75 people registered that would have a 2-year commitment, and that there are people anticipating the next class to start next year because they were ready to deepen their practice in that way. Huge for our community. The postulancy class, the need for additional support in the Sangha and care in the Sangha, the new membership structure, which I'll come back to later, the residential training program and summer residency that just really hit a stride during the last year, and of course, now we have 2 Roshis. And these things all arose during the last year in a way that came from that wisdom. They weren't just check boxes, we need to do this or we need to do this, but they arose from wisdom and growth. I'm going to speak about structure really briefly, but I think it's important that you know kind of what's under the hood. Prior to last year, for many years, very successfully, we had a kind of a committee structure. We had a board that was very active in day-to-day operations. We had committees that rotated to carry out business. And what we found is that there was a lot of change, people's lives, things happen. And so in that context of that wisdom and what was arising, we went to a coordinator structure. Can anybody in the room raise your hand if you're a coordinator of the temple? And so there are about 25 to 30 folks who are coordinators. And these folks have taken on commitments that help have continuity instead of running the Lam Rim by committee or Jukai by committee or AV by committee. We're having someone in a leadership role that then takes on that responsibility. And it's been transformative and successful, and just deep bows for the way that each of you are carrying your leadership in those roles. In terms of growth, I just want to, this is just a couple numbers. The podcast for the temple among Buddhist podcasts is in the top 15% rated podcast in the number of people that are watching it. They're watching it from all over the world. Many of you, the gate and ongoing nourishment of your practice is the podcast. And that's just, you know, we are in the Midwest, Buddhist Temple of Toledo, and here it is, these teachings from our teachers are touching the world in this way. It's incredible. Something else that you've probably seen lots of signs of, but you might not have known about, is a couple years ago, the temple received an Ohio safety grant, and this grant was a hard one and hard to implement grant, and Bujo and I were involved initially, and then Kokai took on this leadership of really implementing it and working with contractors. But we have, additional cameras for security. We have parking lot lighting that you can leave the temple at night and feel safe. All of our windows have extra protection so that they can't be broken into. All these kinds of things that came out of that safety grant were huge, and it is fully completed. The projects are fully completed, and just for you, Dawn. And then the other thing under growth I wanted to mention is the Dharma training wheel, and this might have happened a little bit before the beginning of last year, but really being seen and working with it. It's also in the community room, and this training wheel, no matter what your age is, if you walk in and you're 3 years old, or you walk in and you're, as old as me, or if you you've been, this is your first time on the cushion, or you've been on the cushion for decades, there is a place for you in the mandala, and that training wheel is a way to help us connect and apply, each one of you, apply your practice on the cushion to your life, and to have your own process of awakening. And so those are just a few examples of growth. And then the final one is generosity. And this is the one that kind of makes me weep. And so the generosity in this room is astounding. The generosity that is from our friends online that connect from a distance. There's generosity of time and talent and treasure, generosity of noble friendship, generosity of practice, of letting go, of vulnerability, of being seen. And you can't be in our community for very long without tasting that, smelling it, encountering it. And I just want to thank each of you for your part in that. Being here today is a part of that. But it's no accident that the Buddha gave us generosity as the first paramita, the first perfection, the first part of our practice. And that generosity is manifested in so many ways. And just a few examples. Yesterday there were 25 people here, 25 people here for a Samu day, sewing and cooking and cleaning and fixing things. And this happens monthly. And the joy and the noble friendship and all the things that happen in that, all the things people learned from one another, and also through these projects and through all the things, last year, the projects and Kokai, you in the grounds and facility contribute so significantly to this, but those efforts save at least $20,000 to $25,000 a year for the temple, of the things that you all do because of your talents, the food you prepare, the cleaning, the projects. It's incredible. I'm going to come back to membership a little bit later, but there were a few special events last year, and they ran into each other. So we housed the monks the Tibetan monks for several days, and then we went right into Inkashome. I think there might have been a session in between there or a session after, but the way that our community stepped up, the meals that you prepared, the things you did on the grounds, the things you slept, the all-nighters, the early mornings, the late nights, everything to get the facility ready, to get the community ready. This was a community, this was brought to the world by the community. And we had the great benefit of having teachers here visiting to experience that and to share that with. And what you all brought to that in your efforts and your hearts was just incredible. So deep bows. So I think I'm going to stop there and come back to a little bit of membership after Rosh. Thank you.
I shall offer 3 images and a phrase, and then 4 particulars. If you would close your eyes and imagine with me. Picture, if you will, a deep and vast tree, a wonderful tree that has a thick and robust trunk and healthy branches, roots which go deep into the earth, and leaves that reach up healthfully and wholesomely to the sun. Now, as fall comes, those very leaves turn golden and red and fall to the earth. The cycle of growth has completed. The tree has made it through a cycle of growth. And now those very leaves, which once were the fresh and new, become nutrition for the next. In the same way, the Sangha has completed an important cycle with the recognition of Inka Shome for Doan Roshi. Much has come to fruition. And yet, and still, that is simply now the nourishment and beginning for the next cycle of the tree's growth. So it is for our community. A new cycle awaits. See now a boat. And in this boat, there are 3 friends. There's a beautiful sail, and there's wonderful waves, and yet there's a little turbulence in the environment. And those good and noble friends make harmony with each other and with the waves and with the weather and with the sail and the wood of the boat. And together they navigate. Together they care for each other and hold each other's welfare in mind, in heart, and in action. And together these 3 noble friends take care of each other, each bringing the skills they have. One cooks, one swabs the decks, one charts the course, one has hands on the wheel, the other looks out. The doctor's ready. In this way, creating harmony amongst those in the boat, we can navigate these waters. This is the second image. The tree in a new cycle of growth. The boat with 3 noble friends in harmony, sailing challenging waters. Finally, I bring you the image of a mountain. This mountain is deeply rooted and strong. The spine of this mountain reaches up to the heavens itself. This mountain is firm. This mountain is planted. And then, a mountain spring emerges. Not lava and ash, but rather pure, clear, nourishing water. From the depths of the earth itself comes this life-giving mountain stream. And what emerges from this deep mountain, this stream begins to take shape. And as it moves its inevitable way to the ocean itself, it gathers nourishment from this mountain's face. And slowly and yet inevitably, steadily, this stream becomes a great river. And this river, now nourished by the clarity and force and nutrition of the mountain, becomes a place where villages may thrive and people may grow and families can come to be. The Sangha is very much the mountain. And we are all a part of this stream. And this stream, as we know it now, will, in fact, become a large river, nourishing countless beings throughout space and time with the Buddha Dharma. But for those of us in this mountain, we have to take care of that stream. That stream has to be very, very clear. A small impurity at the beginning of this stream can have large effect. So too, purity and clarity at the beginning of this stream can have large effect. Eyes open, please. Give me your eyes. We have the tree and the nourishment and the new cycle. Clearly, this is so. The image of being in the boat together. This is important. We must understand we are in the same boat. And I don't mean just as humanity and a species, although that's clearly true. But I speak now of us as a Sangha. This community, we are in this boat. Dear ones, you do not need me to tell you there are troubling issues at hand in the world. But perhaps you do need me to be there to simply remind you that we are in this together. We are. We must have each other's mutual welfare top of mind. We care for each other. We're not racing each other. We're in the same boat. This mountain stream, what we do here will have far-reaching impact that you will never see, which doesn't mean it's not true. All we need to do is tend very carefully and very clearly this erupting spring that's coming from all the effort and practice and heartfelt love and challenge that's gone into the building of this mountain. The phrase, I bring your attention to the calligraphy in the back of the Zendo. Let harmony pervade everywhere. Not an original phrase, but one I wish to have as our sort of anthem for this year. Harmony does not mean just go along to get along, close your eyes and pretend it's not happening. No, it means real harmony is based on actual full contact earnestness. Everyone in the boat, sincerity, mutual care for each other, whatever that means, not always comfortable, but always necessary. Actual, true harmony. 3 images in a phrase. Now, specifically, in terms of 2025, there are a few pillars, I would say, that I foresee as being critical to our navigating the waters ahead. First, we need to get off Facebook. Oh my God, we need to get off Facebook. Okay. We've all known this for quite some time. It has had many attractive features as a platform, but oh my God. I have to tell you honestly, every time a committee has to connect and they go to the platform to connect, I feel as though we are somehow contributing to this muck that I wish nothing to do with, frankly. And particularly as these troubled waters go back and forth, dear one, do not allow yourself to sit there and get cortisol hits with stress, swipe after swipe. Just, it's not helping anything. And I find it not only regrettable, I find it morally reprehensible that the temple would require people to go there. We're changing platforms. Details are being figured. A team has been assembled. Be grumpy if you wish, but we are changing platforms, okay? And on a few levels. One, the administrative tasks of the community need to be handled like grown-ups. We've done an amazing job amalgamating and making things work. I mean, the ingenuity and the smarts and the workarounds, it's amazing. And we're getting a cleaner way to do this. But also our members, having some online way of connecting with the Sangha that does not subject you to the algorithms and ads and just lean you closer to this ridiculous stimulant we all need to get less addicted to or free of. So this is going to happen. I respectfully ask you to be enthusiastic about it. We have very, very high watt bulb people with skills and capacities and interest. Look for more announcements as they come. Parallel to this, we've made a decision that we are going to, in fact, hire a very part-time AV person to cover the Sundays and the workshop things, mostly because we have competent volunteers, and yet whoever ends up running the AV has a very different experience, and I'm immensely grateful for all the intention. But you know, the board met, we took some money elsewhere, put it there. We're going to get some folks to just handle that for us, so all of us can be fully in the room. A small detail, but meaningful. And also for those many who are increasingly connecting with our efforts online, it should be more reliable, consistent, or we have someone else we can blame, put it that way. Now, once this has changed, I foresee maybe in the last half or quarter of the year, the intentionality shall shift. You recall, if you would, last year was about restructuring and reorganizing and sort of the under the hood stuff. This work is not done. We have much accomplished. There's much yet to do. But as that lands, then, and only then, I shall direct our attention towards outward-facing stuff. We're not going dark or anything, but we're not putting energy into that right now. Once our house is in order, then it's very clear that we shall make the way that the Dharma is expressed here. There are other ways to express it, but the way that the Dharma is being expressed here, we're going to have more clarity around making that accessible to others. We do not proselytize, we're not trying to convert people, but to give people the chance to know that we exist, and for those who resonate, a way in. This will be where we move. This will have much to do with the Lankavatara, with the Lamrim, with koan, with these core practices and teachings. Two more. We shall celebrate 4 ordinations this year. Kensei, Ankin, Soan, and Jukai have trained deeply and admirably, and my decision is we have no need to delay for a year and then string out 4 individual ceremonies. The horse has left the barn, clearly. We have priests here. And so you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a party together. We're going to do this all together. We're going to have all 4 folks, one shot. We're going to, recognize the depth of commitment of these folks, and noting that they don't all express in the same way. They don't all have the same daily schedule as everyone else. Some have jobs, some not, et cetera, and yet this has happened. This has happened. This has happened. This community is nourished by the fact of our clergy, and we have an opportunity here to recognize these good folks, so we'll do that. Date, I think, is November something. Peace. Oh, 2. It's November 2nd. Chill, dude. Yeah, no, yeah. So that'll be fun, and more than fun, that's actually quite profound. That will end up with a total of 9 ordained folk, plus Roshi and myself. We're in good stead. A parenthetical to this, there will be pathways to ordination in the future, but it will look differently. My Dharma eye is not flashing, quick, run out and get another class going and start the whole process again. I feel that perhaps that way of training priests has run its course. We'll see. I have the right to change my view as time goes on, but that's how it seems to me at this time. Finally, I want to bring our attention to clarity around developing a residential training program. Reverend Kaishan has long shepherded our summer training program, which will continue and has dates this summer as well. It's kind of shouldered between the Jikai and the Sesshin. And yet, okay, we need a place, we need a way to be able to say yes to someone who hears this podcast, let us say some topic of the Lankavatara or whatever, their Dharma eye starts to flutter. They are compelled to seek deeper connection. They do. They go beyond reading and listening to actually engaging. They show up, they do a retreat. They ask, can I come here for a season? Can I come here for a month? Can I come here for a half a year? Can I come here for a year and do training? And today, we don't have a convenient way to say yes to this, but we will. It's necessary to this stream turning to a river. We must create the structures wherein, in a healthy, wholesome way that has adult feet on the ground, okay, that we can allow folks an opportunity to take some time and do an immersive, in-depth Dharma dunk. We're going to dunk them in the Dharma. And they're going to come here, and they're going to get fully dunked, and they're going to get soaked in the Dharma, and it's going to be amazing, okay? So this is a big project. I don't want this on my Zafu in the morning. This is going to take time, but we are moving in this direction. It's a clear imperative. It's one of the next leaves that has to unfold in the Dharma. So, cleaning up our way of interacting with each other in a virtual space, more efficient, less algorithmic interaction. Then, a clean and clear outward-facing move that focuses on the deep end of the training here. The ordinations, they're happening. And this residential piece, how shall it be? The tree, the boat, the mountain stream. Let harmony pervade everywhere.
I'm going to speak to you about something very practical that kind of just want to sit with that image for a bit. But I also want you all to be able to get to lunch. So I just want to give you a little update about membership. And one thing is that I'm not sure that we've spoken to the whole community about the structure of membership has changed at the temple. We've changed the language. If you make a donation, you might see that you're a practicing member. We've made membership something that's not just, drop $1 in the basket and sign up and you're a member. Member is really, I want to practice with this community. I want to be in the family. I want to deepen my practice. And friends are something different that will develop over time, but practicing members, there's a little bit of a process now to become a practicing member. And it's a beautiful process. It involves engagement with our teachers. It involves having beginning instruction, really getting on a path of when you walk through the door, if you want to be a member and you want to take that deeper dive, that we're helping connect you with practice and training from the very beginning. And bows to those of you last year that went through that process and that you weathered some bumps, and bows to you that are in that process now. We have a robust distance and local member community, and what we realized last year is that it takes about $90 a month per member to sustain the temple operations and all the programmings, all the things that are offered. And I'm just going to give an example right now. Whether you're sitting on a cushion right now where you can give $1 a month, or whether you're sitting on a cushion where you can give $10,000 a month, you're the same. In the Dharma, in the practice, everything that's offered to members is the same. And so what we ask is that generosity and that choice to become a practicing member be about practice, and that your generosity connected to that you give what you can, fully what you can. The temple relies on this, but also not to harm yourself, or not to sit on your cushion feeling guilty if you have to say, I can't do quite as much this year. It's very much a practice that's about letting go, that's about being seen, that's about having conversation. And so I am the membership coordinator at the temple, and for anyone in the room who's interested, or anyone online that's interested, please reach out, see me after service, reach out via email or messenger. Sorry, taking you to the evil Facebook, but that's what we have right now. Your memberships are really, really important. They make up over half of our operational expenses in terms of how we cover those annually. Last year, about 250 members contributed $143,000 through membership. And that's about $43,000 more than we had come in through membership the year before. So bows to each of you. For your memberships for 2025, if you were a member last year and you've been making donations, you're just renewed. And if you want to change your contribution, please see me or message me. For those of you interested in a membership, please see me. Membership is a way to be a part of the Sangha and access lots of additional programming, Ongo teachings, the body practice that Ernsen Roshi is doing, the access to the library, a lot more kind of engagement with the Sangha circles, these kinds of things. So if you're interested, please let us know. And everyone, thank you for your devoted practice and your incredible generosity.
So to conclude then, let's dedicate the merit, the merit of this Dharma conversation, this appreciation of the past, this looking forward to the future, this honoring the times we live in, this commitment to each other and to the practice. May this merit to go to all those who live in disharmony, that are drowning in chaos and fear, that lack community, that lack practice and guides. May they find their way. May all beings come to full and complete awakening for the sake of all throughout space and time. May it be so.
bow to and am. Our gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Glorious, unsurpassable, I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Our gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Glorious, unsurpassable, I vow to embody it.
Thank you all for choosing